It's your boy, The Amazing King, coming to you live in the color, bringing that oh so amazing touch. I want to welcome you guys back to the Get Ready For It podcast season 2. I'm here with my friends and a special guest in the building. Go ahead and let them know who you is.
Savage XL back once again, bringing you that X and that L. What's happening, y'all?
Okay, today, Savage, let's make a promise with one another, right? We're going to act right. We got an educator in the building, you know. He is more smarter than you and intelligent. So we have to make sure we act professional.
That's understandable. So that means he's twice as smart as you.
We wasn't talking about me. We was talking about, listen.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Up jumps the boogie. It's the boy KP, and as always, I'm here to keep the peace, people.
We can try.
The best we can. I know, first of all, I know y'all missed me. It's been a while since y'all done heard my voice. You know, I know you guys have been dealing with KP and Savage for the last 2 episodes, but don't worry. Don't fear. Captain King is here. Listen, you like how that right?
Captain King?
Captain King.
No. Anyway, we got we got the educator himself in the building. We got Lem Robinson in the building. What's up, man?
How you doing? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. We appreciate you coming in and taking a seat at the table and taking time to sit down with some of these fools here and educating them a little bit about some facts and things like that. So I just want to jump right into it. What made you want to be an educator?
What made me want to be an educator? Well, it really was never part of the plan. I didn't plan for it. I didn't, it wasn't my dream growing up or anything like that. My parents are educators, so actually I didn't want to be one. But life happened, and when I went through a couple of different majors, I ended up taking a few minor classes in education and fell in love with it. Started working at a school and saw that there was a need there, and it just, has been, history ever since.
Ooh, just guided you down our path. Sometimes the things we fight the most is what actually is the plan we need to go.
Yep.
Can I get an amen from one of y'all?
Hey, man. Trying to know.
Well, Mr. Robinson, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Can you please teach King about his speech? Like anything we can do about that?
Oh, he needed a little help with his speech?
At this age, I know it's a little tough to teach old dog new tricks, but is there any way we can help him?
I'll see what I can do.
All right. I just want to make
work out
KP, you heard me.
Yeah.
We gonna chime in. We're going to flip some dollars.
We're gonna try.
Yeah, we're going to help.
Didn't I say we going to act right today?
I was getting you help. I'm being nice.
I mean,
Okay.
My heart
anyway,
was in the right place.
Back to Mr. Robinson himself. You are the CEO of a
Yes.
nonprofit organization
Big ups.
called B.U.B.B.A. Tampa.
Bubba, yes, sir.
Bubba, can you explain that to us?
So, Bubba, Brothers United Building Brothers Alliance. What it is, simply put, is a mentoring organization for men and boys. So we do events, we have different programs at different schools, and we have different services geared at improving the lives of men and boys.
Can I ask a question? What type of services are you talking about? Is it just financial? Is it more so like avocation towards drugs? Like what type of services?
So we have partnerships with different organizations where we offer tutoring services, we offer mentoring services, one-to-one mentoring. Right now we've got some small group virtual mentoring going on that's new for the summer right now. Event planning for boys. So if you've got a boy and you're planning a birthday party or some type of graduation ceremony or something, anything for boys is pretty much what we do. So the main services that we offer are the mentoring, the tutoring, and the event planning and engagements.
That's what's up. Okay.
This is a man that's professional organization. How long has this organization been around? Excuse me.
So we've been around since 2014, so going on about 6 or 7 years.
Can I ask you what made you start this nonprofit organization?
So to keep the story short, I was working at a school as an after-school care manager of an after-school care program, and we were there during the school day. So a lot of teachers depended on me and one of my coworkers to, work with some of the kids because the kids, related to us a little bit better. They would listen to us. They would do whatever we asked them to do. So a lot of times we became the disciplinarian. And one time in particular, a teacher called me to her classroom of 4th grade black boys, and she told me that they weren't listening to her. She couldn't get them to do anything, so she told me to come check them out. So I get to the classroom, and she called them offenders. And at that moment, I felt some type of way. But what I really wanted to do was just get them out of there and talk some life into them. So me and my homeboy, we took them, we talked about, what they wanted to do, asked them what their future plans were. And, in that moment, I decided that this might be something that I needed to do more than this once. This might be like a real need, and it might need to happen, in other areas too. So that's really where it started, man.
Wow.
Well, that's big. That's big. That's big. You're doing it big. You have a question, Savage Ram?
Well, I mean, I did. So with those boys, like, was it? Are they still in your group now, or?
Yes. So we're really growing. We have a group housed at a high school that I work at, Kids Community College Preparatory High School. We've got a group over at Memorial Middle School in Tampa. We've got boys from different schools around the city, different neighborhoods who just come to our monthly programming. So we really have a large group of boys all over the city.
Okay.
So I got a question. Was this something like that you had growing up?
So kind of, sorta, kind of, sorta. So what I will say is I did get a mentor when I was in 6th grade up until 12th grade through a scholarship that I received when I was in the 5th grade. And so through Hillsborough Education Fund, they gave me a mentor. And ironically, he literally came to, check me out in school every week until I graduated high school. So I definitely had a mentor. But ironically about that, he was a white man. But what he did was he found a place to connect with me. So he was from New Jersey. So he knew my family was from New Jersey. So we used to talk about New Jersey all the time. He knew I liked to sing. So, back then we had tape recorders. So he brought a tape recorder. He brought a tape recorder to the middle school and had me sing like the national anthem and just small stuff like that. So even in our major differences, he still found a way to connect with me.
The gap.
So that's really what I try to do with the boys now is just, be that person, be that organization to really connect with them and just give them an outlet.
Is this something you're trying to have in every single school around the county, or?
Absolutely, positively.
That's what's up.
And the need is so great that it's not even really about having B.U.B.B.A in every school, but just active organizations for boys.
That structure.
That are structured and that we can connect with. Because if if a school has their own mentoring program going on, great. Let's connect. Come to our Boys Night Out. Let's come to your events. So it's really not about just my organization, but the overall message, which is brotherhood.
Like this actually impacts me a lot, and the reason why I said it because growing up I was in the Boys and Girls Club. So of course it wasn't necessarily mentors, but you still had that guidance to where this is right, this is wrong. Are you thinking about doing like seminars to bring people in so they can start things that are similar?
Yes. We actually do that. So
okay.
The only thing we don't have, man, right now is a space. So, our programming is done out of our Boys Night Out event that we have every month is done out of a middle school gym, Memorial. Our success workshops that we do on the weekends, those are done out of the library. So we just don't have a physical building, brick and mortar building yet to do our programming. But our school programs, I always, like for guys to come in with different talents, different skills to just, teach the boys, show them different things, just expose the boys to, other guys. So, we're always open. So if you got any ideas you're trying to pull up, let me know.
Absolutely.
There's one thing that stood out you just said. You said you a vocalist?
Listen, I ain't on here for that. I ain't on here for that.
I just wanted to relate to you because me, myself, and I am a vocalist as well, and my co-host know this.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Correct. We went over
this. So you can hit a few notes.
KP.
Can
Definitely
he? Go
can.
ahead, ask him.
KP.
Excuse me?
Ask him,
KP.
can he hit some notes?
KP.
Ask him, will he hit some notes?
KP.
Will you give us a
that
test?
wasn't
KP.
Mr. Robinson. That wasn't.
He set himself up. He set
I
himself
just
up.
wanted to relate to the man, and also, if I'm not mistaken, you're from Parker's Village, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What side? This going to tell us what side you
Look,
from.
both sides, actually. I was born on Bahia, and then we moved over to 87th, and then I was back over on Croton. So,
Listen here. You don't know
look,
nothing about Allen, man. Come
look,
on, listen.
talk to me. Look, I'm 82nd strong. Look.
Listen, I'm also from Progress Village, first side and second side. I'm talking
Okay.
about Alamana, Dahlia, and Croton. Progress
Okay.
Village, Middle Madness School of the Arts.
Okay,
Graduate.
okay,
Listen
okay.
here. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go too far.
I ain't mad at you. All right. Home team.
I want to ask you a question. What is your ultimate goal out of your mentoring and educating in this foundation that you're working? This nonprofit organization that you're working with. What is the ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal is really simple. It's to just be able to be a space and be just be a space for boys to get engaged, to improve their life outcomes, to just, release themselves, get out of, whatever is going on in their home life, whatever is going on in school, and just give them a place to be themselves. Eventually we want to have a place where we have a B.U.B.B.A house and these boys can come and do these programs and come and partake in, activities with other mentors that we have there. But our mission is simple. We are improving life outcomes, whatever that takes, whether it's engagement, whether it's mentoring, tutoring, whatever they need, however they need it is what we want to be able to do and provide for them.
I want to, first of all, thank you so much for taking time and telling us what you do and why you're doing and things like that. I think I can speak for myself and my co-host that we definitely want to thank you for the things you're doing for the African-American community. That's dope.
Absolutely.
And we really appreciate that and continue to work with the youth and build them up because with the youth, we're nothing, people. Ain't that right? Can I get an amen from my co-host?
Why do you need an amen on everything you say?
Because I demand for it. Press a special button on that thing. What is it? What is that for?
But we already know this, though.
Oh, these fools. But last episode, we can press all the buttons in the world for you. Anyway, let's move over to the group topics. And once again, Mr. Robinson, we definitely appreciate that. I want to talk about a couple black men topic. I'm going to get your opinions on these topics as well. My first question is, what is something that black men need to recognize about themselves in order for them to become successful? Now, I can go first and just, lead it off. I think one of the most important things that black men do not recognize, that they have to recognize, is their mental health. I think they need to understand that if you're not right in the mind, you're not going to be right any other place in your life. So that's really one of the biggest focus that I really try to tell the audience, tell my co-host that you have to focus on your mental health.
I can actually agree with him on this one. I can actually 110% agree with him. I mean, it wasn't my answer, but I agree that I didn't even think about it that way. But no, I agree with him 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
First time for everything.
Right. we breaking down walls out here.
In episode 10 of season 1, we did agree on the days 26. So,
Anyway, Savage, what's your answer to my question, young man?
Savage already answered.
Yeah, well,
No,
I mean, I
he
agree
said that
with-
wasn't his answer, though.
Mine was just knowing that we're naturally powerful. So, I mean, it kind of just is an overall embodiment of everything. Knowing that as a collective whole, if we put, our thoughts and, the perseverance into trying to achieve an overall goal, we can definitely accomplish anything. So I think that that's the one thing that we have to recognize within ourselves first before we start, branching out. And again, big ups to, Mr. Robinson with that, because he realized that there is a problem, and then he started to try to, exactly, find those solutions.
For sure.
What about you, KP?
I would say being okay with who you are. I've noticed a lot, like even in my own life growing up, like I grew up in the hood, you know what I mean? So 9 times out of 10, it was a lot of people that had a different mindset than I had. But I struggled a lot with trying to impress these people and actually be who I want to be as a young man, two, as a black man. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I feel like everybody has that struggle, no matter whether you're in the slums or the hills. You have to be okay with who you are.
Happiness comes from within.
You know?
Okay.
Absolutely.
And the educator himself, Mr. Robinson, what's your response to that?
Man, I agree with everything that everybody has said, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm kind of thinking similar to everyone, but what I think we also need to realize is that we are enough. We're good enough. We're smart enough.
Yes.
We're strong enough. A lot of times we spend so much time focusing on the negative things that people say about us that we really start to think those things of ourselves. So once we really realize that we got it, we got whatever it takes, then like he said already, we'll be stronger together.
For sure.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just handle a couple of things here. Anyway, my next question is for you guys. Is that was a phone ringing. I told him to put the KP. I told him to put your phone up.
He called you out.
Right.
And we're gonna say that's you. I know. Right.
Wow.
Got a question for you. I think we kind of answered, but I'm gonna ask this specifically. What do you think, KP, is the biggest saboteur of a black man?
I don't even know what that word means, bro.
Saboteur? You know what saboteur means?
First of all,
He had to Google it too. He had to Google it too. It's okay.
Saboteur is like the roadblock, the thing that is the Achilles heel to somebody.
to being a black man.
Yeah.
What do I think the biggest S word? I tried to say it. I was like, yeah. No, I see how you feel a lot of the times.
Okay,
you know what?
Explain.
I got it.
Explain.
He sees how you feel all the time, not knowing these words.
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. I gave him the definition. Go ahead, explain now.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to, and this is just my opinion, I'm going to say our egos and pride. It kind of goes back to what you said earlier, King, as far as the mental state. There's a lot of black men who are very successful, very educated, things of that sort, but their mental state might be having some type of breakdown to where they can't, continue forward.
Right.
So that mental step that they have to get over is possibly their biggest saboteur.
Right. I think it's very important that you acknowledge that something's going on. I think a lot of times a lot of people walk around and say they're happy and they're not truly happy, and that's something I notice in the black men. So I tell people all the time when I sometimes I would text my friends just to simply, especially my African American friends, and I would ask them, "How was your mental state?" And they sometimes like, "What are you talking about? How was your mental state? I want to know if you're mentally okay, because you can tell me you're happy every single day and like da, but what's really going on in your mental state of mind?" And if they say, "Well, I'm okay," so you're not happy. Okay, let's talk about that and let's see what we can do to make you happy.
I can honestly say that because of, I think, the standard that we have to hold as black men. We're known to be strong. We're known to be the rock in our families, to our spouses, our kids, whatever. That is not it. I'm not going to say that it's frowned upon. However, just probably within us, again, that ego and that pride that we don't want to be like, hey, look, I'm down or I'm hurting or, I'm depressed. That's another. So we try to self-medicate instead. So I mean, like I said, it's just probably the adverse way of looking at it. Like, we don't want to be known as being like, oh, a softie or something like, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So it's just the ego and the pride.
I have to, piggyback and agree with you with the pride and ego, just because, personally, I've seen a lot of brothers I know, just miss out on a lot of, opportunities and situations just because we didn't want to say that we needed help, or, we didn't know where to look, or we didn't know what. We didn't want to ask because we didn't want to seem like, we didn't know something or we were less than. So I really think that's one of the things. But, the statistics say our health is what's really, killing us. But when we talk about, amongst our community, I definitely think that pride and ego thing is, big up there.
Okay. Now, KP, did you give an answer?
I didn't. I agree with him though.
Okay, so we're gonna go with that. You agree? Do you know the definition now?
I think I do. It's like you said,
Do
a
you
roadblock.
have, Mr. Robinson, do you have a space in your class for this young man at all?
I do. I
Okay.
do.
That might
I'm
take
open
two
to
seats.
learning. Yeah, right.
Put his tall ass in the back.
I
got
need
your
2
back.
seats. You can sit him up front by you. He
Right.
gonna need the most.
He gonna need the whole first row by
Anyway,
himself.
We can have a group session.
Since Mr. Robinson is a vocalist, I'm a vocalist. KP is a rapper, and also Savage XL is a rapper as well. No eye contact, you guys? Okay. Anyway, I was going to ask you guys, do you guys feel as though does our music affect people's perception of the black man?
You know what? I was about to say, because I'm on the fence with this one.
I'm gonna say
Yes. But go ahead, give yours.
Yeah, it does, but at the same time, all those rock and roll songs, they talk about cocaine, hookers, meth, all the drugs that we don't talk about that they do, and all the things. Those songs are really very demonic if you break down their verbiage and those lyrics.
Yes.
But do they get judged off of that?
No.
They don't. They get a clear path, but because my lifestyle or the environment that I'm in requires me to carry a gun, sell dope, or do whatever it is that song is about that they're referring or judging us off of, it should not be that way. And I don't understand why they put the big emphasis on hip hop and all of that.
And it's really sad too. Like, I mean, I'm definitely going to piggyback off that one, KP, because of the fact, I feel that we're a product of our society, of our environment. So the fact that a lot of people, we grow up, either in the hood or being around drugs, not saying you ever did it, but the fact that's all we know, you're going to make music about that.
The things.
But and you see as artists transition in their career, they start thinking about, talking about things, maybe traveling somewhere they've never been before. Again, going back to the rock and roll, they do talk about drugs that we don't use within our society, but they get that free pass. So I can't say that necessarily, yes, it does affect us, our music, but it's just because that's our outlet. That's all we know. So that's what we're going to talk about or rap about or sing about until we have seen otherwise.
So, Mr. Robinson, since you do work with the youth, how do you feel when you see your students or or people of youth playing that music that that they judge us so heavily upon? What is your statement? Because you from PV, we listen to some things over there.
Yes,
But it's just
yes.
understand.
I'm very conflicted because there are, a couple, there's the Lem and then there's the Mr. Robinson.
Right.
So, they listen to two different kinds of music.
Right.
I can't play what I play in the car all the time in the classroom. But what I agree with what everybody has said, and, just being, a brother, I know that our music is, a sum of our experiences, a sum of our culture. And I don't want them to lose touch with that, because that's where you lose them. But I want them to understand that some stuff is just a song. And
Exactly.
then I need them to still understand that things are right and things are wrong. So you may love this song. It may be a great song, great beat. We're going to jam to it. But I need you to still do your work. I still need you to graduate from high school. I still need you to stay out of jail. I still need you to do what you're supposed to do. So I need them to be able to separate.
Right. That was
They
really
need to
important.
be able to separate the music, the fun, from the real life and what
Yes,
we really
sir.
got to do.
So,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson, let me ask you a question. Do you think that it falls back on the parents in these situations? And I'm not only talking about our race.
Mhm.
I mean, races all the way
general.
across, because I mean, you do have white kids, you have Spanish kids who want to either be in gangs primarily maybe because they heard a song, they thought it was cool. Do you think it's up to the parents to dictate and tell their kids that, hey, this isn't real, or sports idols, let them know, but like, hey, maybe you shouldn't idolize that person, maybe because of some of the things they do. Do you think that's on the parents, or should it be a society?
So to an extent, first I want to say, while it's on the top of my head, I think it's really funny how, a lot of people from other cultures have a lot to say about our music, but they love it so much.
Exactly.
They steal it.
They steal it. Exactly.
You riding down the street, they playing it louder than us,
Mhm.
and just all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to parents, there's only really so much that a parent can monitor with their kids, and especially now, you got these AirPods. You don't know what your kid is listening to while he's in the car with you. So you can do your best to, when you're with them, make sure that you're playing, good stuff, and you can try your best to instill these things in them. But they're gonna get on the bus and play what they want to play. They're gonna go upstairs, or they're gonna go to their room and turn on the game and listen to what they want to do. But so you can do your best to guide them.
Right.
But at the end of the day, sometimes those, outside,
They tend to
circumstances.
influence you.
I
They
was-
tend to influence you.
I was gonna say the same thing, because like being a parent and then also coming from a single parent, there was only so much my mom could do. But in that realm of things, my mom, I listened to Tupac, 8 Ball, MJG, UGK.
Yeah.
I listened to all of that, and then it'll be on the ride home. We'll be listening to Anita Baker, Jill Scott, Erica. It's I had the best of both worlds, and she made sure that I understood that. But like he said, there's only so much my mom can do. One, she's my mom, so everything she says, I'm gonna be like, man, you just trying to. And now I go out here with my friends and my homeboys. Or in his case, he has a realm where gentlemen can go and actually be embraced. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about those people in your life, in general. Because like he said, there's only so much that your mom can do. So your homeboys and the people that you allow to be around you, or even in your shoes, like you don't have a kid, but you may know a kid. You know what I'm saying? Your influence on that child, you never know how much influence you have on somebody. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I just try to spread that positivity around. And like you said, listen, brother, this is a song. At the end of the day, when them doors close, you done pulled this trigger. Ain't no guns in jail.
Yeah.
Ain't no you finna call somebody in jail. You on your own 2 feet. And my dad was in the streets, and he made sure that I understood that. Like, yeah, it's cool to be gang and all that, but if you can't stand on your own, ain't no point in you doing it.
Don't do the crime if you can't suffer the consequences.
Okay, so since KP, you made a point leading to my next question. You said that you were in a single family home, or like your mother raised you, right? Why do you guys believe that 75% of household are missing the black father? I would probably say due to generational curses. I feel as though in my opinion, I feel as though it's just like it's a cycle that sometimes continues, where if a man does not know, is not given love, how can he give it to somebody else?
So
go ahead.
KP, you want to?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, possibly, yes, I could agree somewhat with that.
You can't. This is my opinion. There's no
No,
agreeing to it. This is my opinion.
Well, but I'm giving you. I understand that, but I'm giving you some acceptance.
Okay.
I agree with you to a point.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say that the black man is prime suspect number one in America. And so with that being said, everyone targets him. So that's down from the cops to when you go into the store, your baby mama, jobs. It's all the way around. So when it comes down to why they're missing black fathers, if we're already being put in a bad position, it's only going to get worse from there. What I mean is, you're going to have your fathers that are missing because they're in jail. You're going to have your fathers that are missing because, like you said, generational curses. They probably didn't have the right upbringing, so they might not be there because of that. Fathers get killed because maybe they were selling drugs in the street. They might not be able to support their family, so they might have, again, a mental setback, and they can't be part of their family. So it's just a lot of reasons why 75% of families missing a father in the household.
KP?
I was.
See how you do me?
Yeah,
No, because I have
okay.
a rebuttal to that. Go ahead, though.
My view on it is, one, what they like to highlight how there aren't enough black men in the black household, but they won't tell you the same thing, that the white men are abandoning their children just as fast as the black man.
Mm-hmm.
They won't tell you that. They won't even acknowledge that fact. I know for a fact every white kid that I've ever come in contact with, 9 times out of 10, they do not know their father. Their father ran out.
Mm-hmm.
Their father is not a part of their family. And I know, and a lot of those white kids, I actually knew my dad. I knew who he was. I could point him out in the crowd in a line of people, and there's a lot of white kids that cannot do that, but they don't talk about that. And I hate that. I hate when anybody bring it up. I don't care if you white, black, I don't care. I hate when people try to bring that up. Oh, black men, you guys run out on your kids. I guarantee you.
But we're that target, though.
If we take an honest poll, I guarantee the white man is running a lot faster than the black man.
I agree.
I guarantee you. I mean, that's just my opinion on it, and I could be wrong, but I don't feel that way. And I feel like black men are there. Whether you're in that household or not, I feel like there are a lot more black fathers that are present. He may not be with that mom. They may not have worked out together, but they're present.
I don't know about that last part, but I'm going to ask Mr. Robinson, what's your opinion on that question?
In my experience as an educator, I have seen the many different scenarios, and I really appreciate what KP just said, because that's all you hear about is where black fathers aren't. And I really think I saw an article not too long ago that disputed that statistic, and had a totally different number for black fathers in the household. But interestingly enough, recently I've been dealing with a lot of homeboys, a lot of family members, brothers, cousins that have had situations where they've wanted to be in their child's life, but there was certain kind of situations with the baby mama. So he said earlier, it's really layered. There's not one reason why quote black fathers aren't in the homes as much as others, but I really would like to see the statistics for what those other races look like, because people are always worried about us and where we are, and not trying to talk about nothing else.
Okay, we listen. We all said what we had to say, and you were all passionate about that.
I'm just saying, brother.
I understand.
I'm a black father myself, so that kind of like irks my nerves.
No, I understand. I respect that. I can say something. I can use my brother as an example, because we unfortunately were in the statistic where we don't know our father at all. I could not point him out at all in the streets. But when he had his son, he made it a point to say that I would never not show my son the love that my unknown father didn't show. So I think I've noticed personally that the more recent generation, if they are fatherless, they make sure that they make it a point to be in their son or their daughter's life. So that's something that I've noticed, and I appreciate that. And I want the black men out there to continue to do that. I'm just want to let you guys know I'm putting a fist up real quick.
Right.
You feel me?
I was like,
I said I did. I
I
know. Anyway. Okay, before we wrap up this segment right here, what would you say is the strongest power a black man has? Let's go as Mr. Savage. KP didn't look ready.
I'm gonna just say our spirit.
Spirit.
I'm really gonna say our spirit, because if we realize again how strong we are, it can't be broken.
Mr. Robinson, your question.
I'm a teacher, so it's our minds. Man, our minds are unbeatable. Can't nobody do nothing with our minds. Once we get them clear, and we get them strategically focused, we're untouchable.
And Mr. KP, what's
Your skin.
skin?
The very first, the one thing that you get judged on the most. They're your strongest superpower. You absorb the sun and you put that radiation back out into the world. Name another culture, race, whatever the hell you want to call it, that can do that. Your hair defies gravity. As a black man, you wake up every single day with the entire galaxy, nebula, whatever the fuck against you, and you every day you defy those odds.
You can't appreciate today.
I'm just saying, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Sunday.
So it's a lot going on in the world, man. I need to make sure everybody all right, especially everybody that look like me.
Hey,
That's all I'm saying.
Y'all took all the good ones. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say
just
charm.
piggyback.
No, I don't piggyback off of nobody because I have my own mind. Savage XL. No, but my one of the strongest powers, I think, you guys probably named the majority of it, but I think black people and black men are very charming. I remember one time my boss, I worked for him, and he was like, "You're just so charming. You can just talk and everybody will love you." And I noticed that about a lot of African American men. KP, a lot of females, a lot of men would say, he's very charming, he's very relatable. They somehow say that about Savage as well, and I definitely know they say it about the educator himself as well. So that's probably one of the things I say is probably one of the strongest things about a black man. You got something you got to say, Savage XL?
Man, please continue.
Okay, we're going to talk about today's America. I'm going to let you get that out before, because we're going to go into some serious. I'm going to need you to articulate your words when you speak about these topics, young man.
Spell articulate.
Oh, well, that's not the point.
Hey, to get this episode, we are together.
Thank you.
One
We're unit.
Yep.
Guys, why do you feel like it's open season on black men? If you don't know what open season is, it means as they're going around killing us left and right. Why is that? Let's start off with KP.
Again, we are beyond this earth, man. If you seen an alien, how would you feel? If you seen a being that was way beyond you, how would you feel? Oh, we gotta take this motherfucker out. He tripping. He coming down here doing everything that I cannot do. I cannot comprehend. He's doing all of that, or they are doing all of that. I should say he. But hey, that's just my opinion.
Mr. Robinson, what's your opinion on it?
If you look back at history, we've known this open season. This ain't nothing new to us. We just have new technologies and we can see it quicker and we can show it to more people and we can, share it and we can start to affect some more change now. But, I was talking to my grandma earlier and she was telling me how, back in the early 90s, she had to tell, my uncle to call her or make sure he drove all the way home before he, got out the car with the police, making sure he was safe before, he got out the police or even was stopped by law enforcement. So, this ain't nothing new to us. It's been open season. We just can see it and show everybody about it now.
What about you, KP?
KP already went.
I was just saying, didn't I already?
I didn't mean KP. I'm sorry. I meant Savage XL. Y'all both look alike.
So I'm just gonna say, I think our worth is just continue to be devalued. It's literally like at every point it's like we're not enough for everybody. So I think that's the main thing. We're continue to be devalued. We're not saying we as a whole, but our worth isn't being held up to what it actually is. So,
I mean, I would probably have to say the same thing that Mr. Robinson kind of stated as well, that, for some reason, well, not for some reason, we know the reason, they've been attacking us for years and generations. And I think I'm so glad. I know that people say social media is sometimes it's really bad, but without that camera, a lot of incidents that have happened in this year or the years previously, we would have been
lost.
out.
Yeah, we wouldn't have known about it.
There would have been no proof. There would have been nothing. It would have been that white man and that black man. They'd be like, oh, we already know who going to take the cake on this one.
So, I mean, I think that I've seen, I've been reading up on a couple things. They have said that a lot of cops need to start wearing the body cams on them.
Right, they should.
And if they can't wear the body cams, then they're just going to lose their badge. I really feel like that's a step forward in the right direction.
Definitely.
Of course, we've already seen that things are still being recorded and we're not getting any real justice for it. But at least I feel like it's a step in the right direction. But just going back to like both you said, this has been happening for a long time. I mean, my dad, my grandmother, my granddad. So, I mean, they definitely told me stories. and it kind of makes you hard in a way, but it also makes you understand that if they could go through that,
Right.
and at this point, even though it's still bad, I can survive too. So again, that just goes back to that strength that we have, all of us.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, y'all gave some very articulated responses. I really appreciate that. I got a question for you guys since we are talking about open season on black men. Let's talk about the most recent event that probably has happened that got the world turned upside down. What are your feelings about George Floyd? What do you think should happen to the cops that were involved? Mr. Robinson, what's your opinion? We know you're an educator, so there's so much ways you can say it. If you need us to say it for you, we will.
Say it for me. Say it for me.
You say electric
They
chair?
should-
Or what you-
Yeah, no, they the same way he purposely took that man's life, somebody need to purposely take his life. I mean, it's on it. If it would have been vice versa, black cop on a white man's neck, they would not be doing all this damn protesting. That the moment he would have went flatline, that cop would have been two things: dead or in jail.
Yep.
Yep.
And they had probably been the first of all of them.
That's
Right.
what-
He
that's what I'm
probably
thinking.
would have been shot by another white officer.
I'll be honest with you. I was outraged when I see it, when I had seen it on TV, and of course seen it all over social media. I'm not going to just readily say that I want them all to be killed. I want them to suffer. I mean, I'm just being real with you. If they're cops, they're police, if you put them inside general population, inside of any prison, trust and believe they're going to have to fight for their life.
Agreed.
And that's just the...
Yeah, they all over TV. So.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
even if you used to put them in any Supermax, they're going to have to fight for their life.
Okay, so to follow up, well, this is a piggyback off that question. So the other cops that were involved, do you feel as though they should face the same fate as the person who had put his neck on that man and killed the man? Do you
Not
guys-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say not necessarily because I mean ultimately he probably would have lived if the one guy would have just first of all not even why you got your body weight and your knee on
his
the
neck.
back of somebody's neck.
Okay.
If it whether he was being arrested or not, that was gonna end bad.
So there's 32 states, if I'm not mistaken, where if you commit a murder or a crime that everybody's in a company with you gets that same penalty. I don't want to say that maybe all the cops should suffer the same penalty, but because they did nothing to avoid it,
Yeah.
I really feel that there should be
Accomplice.
some type of punishment. You know, I mean, even if it might not be life, maybe if it's 40 years, maybe 30 years. We get more years for the littlest crimes. So again, what's 20 years for not doing nothing?
Yes, I definitely think people should be charged for the crimes and the murders that they commit
Held accountable.
Yeah, for real.
by any means necessary.
And I agree on everything you guys said as well. I definitely think the people that were involved need to be held accountable as well, and the men that actually didn't need to be put away for life. And I think it would be great if they put them in general population just to see what's going to happen there in that situation. Anyway,
Well, look here.
I want to talk about something else, something that's near and dear to my heart. I want to talk about the one. I know you guys are familiar with this term they use now when they are describing a very frustrated Caucasian woman. We're talking about the Karens. Why is a Karen one of the most dangerous people to a black man? If you guys don't know the situation that happened very recently to a man, the lady name was, I believe her name was Amy Cooper. She was had her dog. The man asked her to put him on a leash. She didn't do it, and then she called. And if you listen to the video, you can see her voice change and escalate. This is a black man. It was something I've never seen in my life, and it really showed to me how important and that people need to be aware of Karens. KP, what's your opinions on these Karens out there? And we're not talking about them regular Karens that be in the grocery line fussing about coupons. We're not talking about them. We're talking about them real dangerous when they be trying to put the black man in jail.
One, there needs to be a law where in general, whether it's a black man, anybody, if you call the police and say that someone's threatening your life and they are not, and there's proof that they are not, there needs to be I would say a very hefty fine for that. And two, I think they should be tried for attempted murder. This
Mr.
black
Robinson?
man he's attacking me. Like you're
She did do
causing a
that.
scene, and let that cop would have showed up and killed that man. you would have been an accomplice to a murder. Because if that was me and Savage, and I called the police, I said, this nigga up here with a big ass gun, and we just got to arguing. One, he bigger than me, he blacker than me, you know, and he walking around with this motherfucker. They are going to come with every intent to kill this man, to kill him. But because of what's going on already in the world, everybody's a little hesitant. But who's to say that some cops don't give a fuck? And let's say that man would have died that day.
It would have been on.
And everything would have been on camera and shit would have got loose. Would she have went to jail for murder?
No.
Would she have been tried as an attempt on his life? I feel like she should.
How do you feel about Karen's, Mr. Robinson?
That name is quite comedic to me.
It fits though.
For many reasons, many reasons that I won't say on on the radio. But you know, as a teacher, being in a space where, you know, I see the impact that people like that can have on our boys, our kids, period. Depending on what their role is in a school, in a government seat, and just being a regular citizen. If we have, let's say, a Karen running a school where most of our kids are, what does that look like for our kids? What does that look like? So it can be very dangerous, and it has proven itself to be very dangerous given history, given the chain of events, given where we are now, given the protests. So it's definitely a problem. And sometimes you don't even know that you're really dealing with a Karen until
it goes left.
It goes left. What about you, Savage XL?
I mean, I'm gonna go with KP on that one. I think that there should be some type of penalty of something like that is called. Unfortunately, that situation has happened to me, and I've actually been detained by about 7 cops because of that situation. So I mean, I don't feel that it's cool in any kind of way, because if something would have happened to me, that's my way of living. That's my livelihood. You know, but yet she would have continued on her way, and she would have, went about her, went about her life.
Got a chai tea, did some yoga.
For real. Take an Ambien or a Xanax.
Put a little salt
that's what they do.
Chicken and cook it.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me how how powerful the middle-aged white woman is, and how much power they possess. You know, Karens have been around for a very long time. They're nothing new. They just now put a name on them. I think one of the biggest examples I can use of a Karen is I'm going to butcher this person's name. I'm so sorry. I don't want to be disrespectful. His name is Emmett Till. That situation with that Caucasian lady who said that, oh, he did this, and come to find out years later, boy didn't do anything to him. But that showed the power of the white woman, and that's dangerous to a black man. Go ahead.
I feel like whether it was the truth or not, it was bound to happen to somebody because they don't care.
But it happens all the time, though. You know, can I say it's normal? Can I say it?
That's a sensitive.
I'm just saying.
So yeah, I use that every time I think of a Karen. That's one of the first situations I do go to, because this is crazy.
Yeah, no,
that's situations like that have been happening for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And when people watch that video, you see the lady just. I'm looking at this video. I'm like, I know you did not just change your voice and start getting frantic. But you was just fine before you even called the police.
That's what I'm saying. You put that fine in place, because I mean, and I just feel like it should be a tax. Just make it a tax, because at that point nobody can avoid it, and the IRS gonna get their money. You called the police. That's a service.
Yep.
They came out, took the time out of their day to pay this man to come to your call for what?
Nothing.
Make it starting at $500. I guarantee you, all the Karens in the world, everybody, tone that shit down.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go back to bullets too. I think you should put a charge on each bullet.
Hey, listen.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the next question, but I only want Mr. Robinson response on this one. What does Black Lives Matter mean to you when you hear that? When people say Black Lives Matters, what does that mean to you?
What does it mean to me?
Yeah. And the follow-up question is to this is gonna also be how do you feel when people say all lives matter? So we want to know these two things.
So my content area is English. So I'm really big on words, and I'm also really big on simplicity. Black Lives Matter means simply Black Lives Matter, period. All them extra paragraphs people trying to put into it, Black Lives Matter. They do. That's end of conversation. That's what it means.
And the follow-up question is, how do you feel when you see somebody say, well, no, all lives matter? How do you feel about that?
If they say no, we're going to have a problem. But if they say all lives matter, I will agree. Yes, absolutely, positively. I was taught that all lives matter, but we're not talking about that right now. Right now,
I was waiting
right
for it.
now, I'm talking about Black lives and how they matter.
We just wanted you to explain that to us. We need you to articulate that
Not
to
everybody
the world, 'cause
understand.
not everybody understands. Lord
They can't.
Jesus.
What does it differentiate?
So I'm going to ask KP and Mr. Robinson this question. Do you agree with the protesting, the rioting, and the looting currently that's going on? KP and Mr. Robinson, how you guys feel about that?
You want to go first?
My teacher answer?
You can get both of them, you know.
So, at each movement in history has essential components that are necessary to make it successful. We're seeing all of those components right now. Those components are necessary to access change, I believe. That's what I'll say
Okay, KP.
for now.
I ain't no teacher.
You ain't know.
And everything Mr. Robinson couldn't say. I'm going to speak on behalf of Lem. Because it look like me and Lem look like we'll get along real nice. Mr. Robinson, I respect him. But, you know,
Talk to me.
I feel the protest. Listen, man. America was built on violence. Honestly. First things first is the Trail of Tears. If you know history, if you're into history, then you know. If you don't, just Google Trail of Tears. That's all I'm gonna say. Two. White people will riot for some of the simplest. A team actually, their team winning. They went out and flipped over a news truck, set that bitch on fire, and just started fucking shit up from here to there. A team lost. They did the same exact thing. We are simply saying we are tired of being killed in the middle of the street. We're tired of being filmed. We're tired of this. We're tired of that. We're tired of the mistreatment amongst just it. And ultimately, yes, it's about all lives because everybody go through it.
Mm-hmm.
But majority of the time, we're televised. We're put in that hot seat. We're in the limelight for that. You know what I mean? And we're just saying simply, if you're going to do that, go out here and kill these other white boys the same way you're killing these black boys. You know what I'm saying? Equality, right? You want to go out here and kill, you killed 5 people today, 5 black people today? Go out here and kill 6 white people.
Everything you saying right now, KP, is literally Huey P. Newton and the 10 steps from the Black Panther. Like seriously. Like, no, I'm being real with you. I'm listening to you, and like I'm big on history too. Everything you're saying right now is literally the same thing. The revolution will be televised.
Because it's real, bro. Yeah. And I do not agree with the looting and all of that because it doesn't serve a purpose. Judgment.
Yeah, it doesn't serve the purpose that we're wanting to put out.
Exactly. Now, will it happen? Yes. Ultimately, a lot of the times, it's not even a part of that agenda. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just something that happened. It don't even have to be a black person that threw the rock. As long as the rock is thrown, chaos is amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with it, but sometimes you got to go to a drastic extent to make sure that measures to make sure that your future is secured.
And what I really like that you said is that sometimes, you know, some things are isolated events. So a lot of times the news and the media will try to lump everything together.
Mm-hmm.
And those aren't even the people who are doing what your story is about right now. So it's really important that we are clear about who's doing what and that, you know, everybody's so quick to pass judgment or people don't even know what's going on. People don't know why you don't know what people know because you're not people.
And you're not there.
You're not there. You're not in their head. And you have no idea. So I really get skeptical when I talk about stuff that I really, really don't know about.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
That was
I know y'all went in. Y'all had to tell the people. Y'all had to tell the people. Savage, I'm gonna ask you, because we're almost done wrapping up here. I want to ask you a question. What does a black man need to do to survive in America
in 2020? Stay educated. I mean that sums it completely up. Because if you stay educated, you know what to expect. You know what to do to avoid a situation. You know what to do if the situation does happen to occur. So again, just stay educated.
Agreed.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, the same question.
I feel like a a black man is going to have to do all of the things that we're going to say, because I think he needs to do that, and I think he also needs to stay connected, because sometimes we get disconnected from friends, we get disconnected from family, we get disconnected from organizations, we just get disconnected. We got to stay connected.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you this another question. Because the title of this show is supposed to be called The Black Men Agenda. If you had to make a Black Man Agenda for probably one of your children of youth or somebody you mentoring, what would your agenda include that you would hand over to that person you mentor or that you're giving that information to?
There would be a long list, and I kind of got a few ideas, but one thing that really speaks to me the most is I would tell them to get, we got to get wherever we are. For black men my age, older, around the same age, we really got to get wherever our kids are. We got to get into the schools. We got to get into the courtrooms. We got to get into the public defender seats. We got to get into the judge seats. We got to get into the police seats. We got to get everywhere that we are, or we just gonna be mad forever. If we, people be like, oh, avoid the government, avoid this, avoid that. We can't avoid what's not going nowhere. So we gotta get where the stuff is happening. We gotta get there.
Oh, you over here preaching.
I'm sorry, that hit home for me.
I wanted to make sure I specifically asked you for that, because we gonna hand that to the youth and let them know what they how to get there.
I had, when you asked him the question,
right?
I honestly, a side note, from a job, I've took things to, like, when we do meetings and stuff, they be like, oh, what's your takeaway? So whenever I sit down and I talk to people, I hear people listen. When they say things that click to me, or it speaks to me in my heart, I have to write it down. He asked you about the Black Man Agenda, and
right on top of his head.
I don't even know if my son, I'm about to cry, dog. I don't even have, like, a agenda for my son or myself. You know what I mean?
It's okay, dog. Real talk, and I will say this, though. Just because of the fact that you are able to acknowledge that, it shows the strength that you have. Seriously. And don't feel no kind of way about it. All you have to do is just make sure that he knows.
Yeah, that hurt though.
But honestly, it's not. I wouldn't take it as a hurting feeling. Again, I don't have kids, and I can't wait till I do, so I can teach them.
Yeah.
But just the fact that you might have not thought about it in that way before, but now you know. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So actually, that's empowering. Just right now, you're showing the unity. Yeah. So I mean, for real,
that was deep.
Deep. And your work is happening now, because you've got this jewel in your hand. So your role is essential. So everything you're doing, whether you know it or not right now, is going to prepare him for what's out there. Yeah. So what your task at hand now is just to show him what you want him to see.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, since this is the Black Man's Agenda, we have lost some black men as of lately. So what we want to do is just name a couple of them, and we want to have a moment of silence. We're going to start with Botham Jean. That was on August 16th, 2018. We have Stephon Clark. That was on March 18th, 2018. We have Eric Gardner. That was on July 17th, 2014. We have Philando Castile. That was July 16th of 2016. John Crawford III. That was on August 5th of 2014. Trayvon Martin, February 26th of 2012. And Ahmaud Arbery, February 23rd of 2020. Let's all have a moment of silence. Thank you.
Okay, I want to appreciate y'all today. Mr. Robinson, you came in here, you educated the kids, you spoke some real knowledge, and you got KP even a little sentimental. That rarely happens.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man. This was love. This was love today.
Sure. It's your boy, the Amazing King, coming to you live in the color, bringing that oh so amazing touch. Please make sure you follow the podcast page at readyforit_1. Please also follow myself at AmazingIam_. Also, Savage XL, check them out.
It's your boy Savage. Once again, if you can follow me at The Real Keys, and just be on the lookout for some new material I have coming up.
My name changed on Instagram. So it's Parker67_. Y'all go check me out, man.
Listen to his new music.
Click that link in the bio for sure.
And Mr. Robinson, let the people know where they can find you at.
You can find me at Lem_Go Mode on Instagram, or you can follow our organization at Bubba_Tampa on Instagram and Twitter. Holla at us, Bubba Inc. of Tampa Bay.
Thank you so much. The educator, get ready for it.